how the budget moved from 3 million to 10 million.
As I turned to take the route that they had suggested, 3 soldiers just blocked us. This is on the same wedding day. I'm not even kidding you guys. Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Oh, why are you laughing? I'm Genesis.
I'm Royal.
Yeah, so we want to do something that's a bit different this time. We want to talk about our most memorable moments from our wedding, which happened approximately 1 year ago. Just maybe get to see through the lens of young people getting married and get an idea of what was going on through the back of our heads. Right, so where do you want to start?
As you just said this, as you introduced the video, I just remembered something that I really would want to say, but I already have 5 points.
You're the one who can tell.
Will you give me one extra jar?
No.
You guys help me beg Genesis to give me the jar.
She came with a notebook full of memories.
Oh, actually, I could include it in one point I already have. Okay. I'm going to go first.
Okay.
Okay, in addition to what Genesis said, you already mentioned that in this video we're going to be talking a bit about our most memorable moments from the wedding. And this will cover not just what happened during the event, the D-Day, but also planning towards that day. And we're not just talking about the moments that we loved, we're also going to be speaking about the moments that we wished we could have done better, but we wish things went where we wish things went more smoothly. Yeah, so I'll be going first. How the budget moved from 3 million to 10 million. When we first started planning for the wedding, the initial budget that we had in mind was 3M because there were so many other things to consider. Genesis didn't want me to move into where he was staying, so we had to rent a place. And you know how it is when you're starting a life with another person. There's definitely going to be refurnishing. So all of this, when we sat down together to say, okay, there are other things that we're planning aside from that were already in motion before we decided to get married. Those things still have to be in play. And we thought of, okay, to rent a place in so area which is closer to our workplace would cost this, furnishing the place would cost this, and by the time we put together this cost, the amount we had in excess that we're willing to spend on this wedding was 3 million naira. Well, I would like to inform you that in actuality we spent over 10 million on this wedding, and this happened because the agreed number of people that we had at the start of the wedding that we agreed to invite to this wedding was 150 to 200, but ended up at 500 to 600. And I take the blame for it because my family, the pressure from my mother and my father, God, don't you know your father is a pastor? How will you not invite church people to your wedding? How can you say you are not inviting children to your wedding? Oh Lord, please. Children of God, I plead with you. If you and your partner have agreed to do something, you've agreed on how this thing would work, regardless of the pressure from your parents, don't give me that face now. Stand your ground. Even if they tell you, we will fund it, stand your ground. Believe me, because at the end of the wedding, please, how many people were left in the hall for the after party? There were not more than 200. Like, there were not more than 200. It was only our people that were left. All our parents, friends, our aunties, our uncles, and all the grandparents had left. They left, let's say, before 7. So after party, I'm like, so what was not the point? Because as far as I'm concerned, my wedding started maybe at 7 p.m.
So I'm sure some of you may be wondering how it was possible for us to have maybe had 3 million as a budget for even a 200, people wedding. Especially because Nigeria was pretty much at the high end in terms of inflation. But what we tried to do with our budget was focus more on, having a great time for our people. So we weren't looking at getting the biggest halls, we weren't looking at getting exotic, fine places. We just wanted something really cute, give people the best experience, food, music, have a great time, make you feel like a house party, basically, of your closest people around, and, having memories, having, making things that will last beyond that time. And we thought 3 million was going to do it. Real had put in a very good budget, to be honest. And we were ready to go with it until, as you know, Kasala busted. Excuse my English. So, yeah. My very first memory, I think I would like to share. I think I should go back to the very beginning for me, in terms of my mindset with regards to getting married. So again, as you can see, I'm still a boy who had been dating someone for well over 7 years, and there were a lot of circumstances, there were a lot of things in the background behind the thought making process for me, and deciding to go into the wedding. I'm not going to bore you guys with that, but I know we had our court wedding 1 month before our actual wedding, and I'm just going to walk you through what happened on the day of the court wedding. So that morning, me and my brother, we got ready. My parents were not at the court wedding, were they? No, they weren't. Yes, so it was just myself, my brother, Royal and her family. So my brother and I got ready that morning, dressed up. I used to stay somewhere at Yaba, if you know Yaba. And then we got into the car, we started driving. I think the court wedding was for maybe 9 or... No, we had to get there early. When you run your Ikoyi registry wedding. So the guy said, come very early. We had made some errors. They wanted to help us make it right. And then that's how we started driving, me and my brother. And then if you're going from Yaba to the island, you know that there are 2 ways you can take. You can take Third Mainland, or you can take, I think, that Eco Bridge side. So we decided to take Eco Bridge. We followed Google Map. Google Map, this is on you. And then we moved, as we were going, we saw that there was a road blockage, and they started diverting cars to, take another route. We didn't really know the road, so we just followed. Normal, there's no option here, it's a long road. You are already blocked by the division on the road, so you can't even turn, so we just took it. And as we're driving, we entered one really odd looking place around those. I don't know I'm not too good with that area, because I'm more familiar with the Third Mainland side. So we went there, and as we're driving, me and my brother obviously were tensed up because we're worried that we'll get there late. And I didn't want to be late because Royal's parents and herself were going to be waiting for me. So as we're going, there were some touts just standing by the road, saying Lekki Aja, and we're going towards Lekki Aja now. So they were saying people should take this road. We didn't really know the road. We saw some cars turn that way, and then we just turned. As I turned to take the route that they had suggested, 3 soldiers just blocked us. This is on the same wedding day. I'm not even kidding you guys. 3 soldiers blocked us. I think 2 were on a bike just somewhere behind. So obviously there was no way to run. They were with weapons. As they just blocked us, I just told my brother, I don't even know what's going on. Next thing, they told me to calm down. So I was dressed for in a corporate way, not too corporate because our court wedding was a mess. But I came down out of the car when they told me to calm down, and instantly I started telling the soldier person I was talking to, the army, that I am getting married today. I only followed the instruction of this stout who said take this road. in hindsight, obviously, I now know what happened. The touts misled us intentionally so that we'll be scapegoats to the people waiting at the other side, right? But I wasn't so familiar with that route, so there was no way I didn't think too much, and I was in a hurry, so a lot of all these things happened. So as the guy blocked us, basically, I started begging him, saying, I'm married. He said, where's my ring? Unfortunately, we're not using a ring to get married in courts that day. Do you remember? I think it was the only Bible. So I didn't have a ring. I'm like, I don't have a ring, but I have a Bible. I can show you everything else that, I'm taking to. That's my brother there sitting on the car. Next thing, they entered the car and they started driving it forward. I'm not even joking with you. They use their bike to carry me to go and meet the car in front. So they took us to one corner around that Eco Bridge, very hideous looking, very scary. I was worried sick, I was afraid. When you start going through this, you start thinking, does God not want you to get married to this person today? And this thing starts to worry you, but I don't know, somewhere in my head, I just said I was going to be very honest and I will plead and plead. Anything, I'll just tell them, please, if it's money, I'll give them, but I need to make my wedding. I'm begging you, people are waiting for me. As we got there, started talking out, they usually get, quickly do this thing. If you don't want them, if they catch you here, your car is not coming out, one thing. I was like, Oga, I don't have any money. As you see me, I'm going to go and marry. I only have small cash that I'm taking to go and do one thing. They say, oh yeah, where is it? We have to transfer. I think we transferred 10K before they let us go. They brought out the car from their coral place or whatever. Before we started driving, we got to court. It was a mess that day. An absolute mess that day. We shall go married, ja. We got married. I was taking my brother. You want to say something?
Me on the other hand, I did not even know this drama that was going on.
So we got married. Very Ikoyi registry. If you are going there, please prepare your mind for it's worse than NYSC camp. We were driving back, so I was taking my brother. I needed to drop him somewhere to take a bus to go home at Iyanoworu after 3rd Milan Bridge. I'm not joking. After the wedding, after what happened in the morning, as soon as I dropped my brother at that, when you go off the express on 3rd Milan inside the Iyanoworu bus stop to drop, immediately I dropped him and he left. Last man came out and blocked me in front. I had some Lagos State affiliation, so I wasn't too worried. They were like, this is not where it's parked. I was insisting, next thing. You know how it is. Me, I don't know how to fight. I'm not rugged, that I must admit. So the child took over the steering, the started driving. I was like, I know people in Lagos State. So I used to work with, I used to do some work there, so I knew some people. So as the guy was already driving to their place at near Oshodi to go and drop me, I was already making some calls. Apparently the guy heard me make some calls and he could tell that this guy must know one or two things. So immediately they got the car to that place, they just went to go and book a ticket for me. I think it was 20K. And according to Lagos State laws, like once they book that ticket, it's go be, you have to maybe call someone to reverse the ticket because it would have been booked into a system and nobody wants to go and break the accounting for that thing because it will leave your name on the trail. So that's how I paid 20K that evening. I beg with all my connects. My connect called me, do everything. They started saying I may have to leave the car. I just go angry. I paid it and I went back. And I promise you, let me not keep this too long. What kept going on through my mind was, as far as I'm concerned, if it's village people or negative forces or whatever, how I choose to process this is getting married to Royal obviously is going to be one of the best things in my life, and they want to stop it from happening or frustrate me in this process. So I didn't think from a point of maybe I shouldn't do this. I thought of I must do this because this is where I'm breaking through. And that's how everything happened. And that's how the court day of our wedding happened. That's one of the biggest memories I've had with getting married to Royal.